Action. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Samantha Gutierrez, and this is my YouTube channel. So glad you joined me today to talk about the Bermuda Triangle. If you find yourself going down a rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and like alien anomalies, then you should hit subscribe. I try to make videos every week and have them up on Mondays. I didn't last week. I'm so sorry. My husband is in the Air Force and he deployed. And we have 4 kids, so it's been a week. I'm also homeschooling, so yeah, cool. It's a good time. You know what else is a good time? This channel. So hit subscribe so you can come back and see me. So let's get into it, but not actually into it because no thanks. The Bermuda Triangle is one of the most mysterious places on Earth, if not the most mysterious place on Earth. Some people call it the Devil's Triangle or Hurricane Alley. And it is a triangular section of the Atlantic Ocean between San Juan, Puerto Rico, Miami, Florida, and Bermuda. The exact point of like the connecting triangle places varies depending on who you ask, but it's around there. This area is about the size of Texas. The strangeness begins at the voyage of Christopher Columbus to North America. So weird shit's been happening for a long time. He reported to have seen a beam of fire crashing into the Atlantic Ocean in the triangle. But these stories didn't even really become public until the USS Cyclops disappeared. This was in the 20th century, and it's a Navy cargo ship that can carry 300 men. And oh, it was carrying 300 men, and they all went missing. There's so many mysterious events that have happened over the years, but I'm going to talk about just a few of the most interesting ones. So the first story is about a man named Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs. He was a master mariner and a captain of a ship called Marie Celeste, which was a U.S. merchant ship. He was from Massachusetts and he spent most of his life dabbling in the sea world. He was a very respected man by the people that knew him because he was just a really, really nice, fair, and just really experienced dude. He captained 3 ships before he even started captaining Marie Celeste. Benjamin married his wife, Sarah, in 1862, and they sailed to Europe for their honeymoon. She won the jackpot with that. That's like a dream honeymoon. They ended up having 2 children together, Arthur and Sophia. Fast forward, in 1872, hello, how you doing, Blush? Benjamin, Sarah, and their daughter set out to Genoa, Italy from Staten Island, New York. They left their son Arthur behind because he was of school age at this time, so he stayed with his grandmother so he could attend school. And unfortunately, that was the last that Arthur ever saw of his family. 1 month later, their ship was found drifting in the Atlantic Ocean. And to make it even more sad, it was abandoned. I just did my eyebrows really quick off camera. So the lifeboat was missing from Marie Celeste and it was still at full sail. The ship was undamaged and it was still stocked full of food for 6 months. Benjamin, his family, and 8 other crew members have never been found. Just gone. Poof. But this was not the last time that a ship would be mysteriously abandoned in the Bermuda Triangle. It was just a regular day in 1881, when an American ship that weighed over 1,800 tons was sailing from New York to London and then back again. This ship's name was Ellen Austin, and the captain of Ellen Austin just happened to spot a ship aimlessly sailing in the ocean. You see where this is going, don't you? So they try to radio in, no one answers. They assume that it was abandoned. Not a soul was on board of this ship. The closer they got, the more it was apparent that there was nobody on this ship. So the captain sent a crew over, like a, what do you call it? Like a salvage crew to get on the boat and steer it back to shore because it was still a perfectly good, functioning ship. They were like, hell yeah, score, we just found a whole ship. When the crew boarded, they noticed that it seemed like everything was just perfectly still in place. Like people maybe just vanished. The captain's logbook and the ship's nameplate were the only things missing. So they set out to get back to shore, and they encountered a storm about 2 days later, and they ended up getting separated. The storm cleared up, but the captain of Ellen Austin didn't find the no-named ship and his crew until a few days later. And guess what? The ship had no crew anymore. So this is 2 times now. They're just gone. There's conflicting reports as to what happened next. Some say that the captain of Ellen Austin was able to convince another salvage crew to go to the boat and attempt to sail it back to shore again, which you have to be crazy to do that, because I mean, at what point are you like, okay, that boat is clearly haunted? But this story ends ultimately with a 3rd crew disappearing. And there's another story that they just ditched the mission. They were like, okay, screw that, which I find that one a little bit more believable. But we know for sure that at least 1 crew did go missing, for real. That is a fact, along with whoever manned that ship to begin with. Then we have the USS Cyclops. This, like I mentioned earlier, was a naval ship. It was a huge fuel ship. In March of 1918, the USS Cyclops departed from Brazil to sail to Baltimore to deliver over 10,000 tons of ore. There were over 300 men aboard this ship to do this voyage. It was a beautiful day when they set out from Brazil to embark on this voyage to Baltimore, and that's the last time they were ever seen. There was a search and recover team sent out. They searched the entire area, but nothing was ever found. No remains of the ship, no remains of the crew members, no distress signals were ever sent out by the captain, and no one on board ever responded to any radio calls. As of now, the number of ships and planes to have gone missing from the Bermuda Triangle stands at over 100. So another weird story is about a yacht whose name is Witchcraft. What a fitting name for this story. It's like it knew its destiny before it ever even took a stroll on the open sea. On December 22nd, 1967, Dan Burak invited his friend Patrick to go out on his yacht. They fancy. And Patrick accepted the invite. So they went out about a mile from the coast of Miami to see the beautiful Christmas lights from out in the ocean. That would probably be such a pretty sight to see. How could you say no to such an invitation? So when they were about a mile out, the Coast Guard received a call from Witchcraft. It was Dan. And Dan told the Coast Guard that they had hit something, but that the ship didn't have much damage. So all they needed was a tow back to the shore. So the Coast Guard leaves immediately, and it doesn't take him more than 20 minutes to get to where they were pinned. And when he gets there, what do you think? Nothing. No boat, no Dan, no Patrick, no nothing. Being a perfectionist is seriously such a freaking handicap in life. These are not perfectly symmetrical, but neither are my eyes, you know? Like, look at that though, they're real, that's bad. How do I fix it? This is where I just start up. I'm not even gonna do it. It's said that the kind of ship that The kind of ship that Witchcraft was virtually unsinkable, but so was Titanic, you know? Like, we all know how that story ends. So the entire area was searched, hundreds of miles, and nothing has ever been found. Poof, Witchcraft. Most of the ships that go missing in the Bermuda Triangle never return. There's also been quite a few planes that have disappeared. In 1945, a training flight of 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers disappeared while flying over the triangle. Their flight plan consisted of over 350 miles. It was a training route, so they were just kind of practicing, but they never returned to the base in Fort Lauderdale. There were multiple search and rescue teams deployed to search for them, one of which was 13 men on a flying boat. And guess what happened to them? They also disappeared. Then in 1948, a commercial plane disappeared, flying from San Juan to Miami. There were 32 people on board, and they nor the aircraft were ever found. I'm gonna have to switch up this whole look. So my plan was to put cute little like whitish silver eyelashes on, but they don't look right. They look wonky and like lopsided. I think when I like painted them, it just didn't work right. It got warped. So we're changing it up. Change of plans. I'm gonna do a winged liner underneath this. God, please let it turn out okay. I'm nervous. My black liner always turns out uneven. Let's do it though. Let's just do it. Some people believe that there are perfectly natural explanations, like there might just be pockets of flammable methane gas in the ocean that get struck by lightning and then explode. Totally possible. This would have to happen at the very second that the ship was floating nearby to make it sink. Oh my gosh, that was hard. Whew. Okay, we've got one. This is the tricky part. Can she do it? Can she do it? Guys, I think she can do it. Did I do it? I think I did it. Holy shit, guys, I did it. It looks cute too. I haven't done my eyeliner in so long. I still got it. All right, now I'm gonna put lashes on really quick and I'll be right back. And then we'll continue with the story. Okay, I'm back. And then there's some people who think it could be tidal waves, or that maybe there's a geomagnetic anomaly that causes like navigational equipment to malfunction and the electronics to malfunction, which can cause pilots to like get confused and then ultimately just like nosedive and crash into the ocean. Somehow they were unaware that they were plummeting directly down. I find some of these a little hard to believe. I'm more inclined to believe the conspiracy stuff. Some stuff you just can't explain. More interestingly, some people believe that there could be a wormhole somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle. And a wormhole is basically a space-time shortcut that would like allow time travel to be a thing. So this brings us to Bruce Gernon. Bruce experienced some weird shit in the Bermuda Triangle. Bruce has been a certified flight instructor since 1965, and he's been actively flying all different kinds of planes. He's very well educated on airplanes and being a pilot. He's owned planes, he's flown helicopters, he's a pro, basically. So him and his dad have been flying to and from this airport called Androstown Airport for years. One day they took off and Bruce noticed an elliptical cloud directly ahead of them. It was about 1 mile in the distance and it looked like a normal cloud, but the difference is that this cloud looked to only be about 500 above sea level, which is a lot lower than a normal cloud. So they saw this thing, you know, they're flying. Then out of nowhere, the cloud seemed to like creep up on them and engulf them. Just, I've never done this before and I'm really excited. Oh, she's gonna be snatched. They flew in and out of this cloud for about 10 minutes and then finally came out into the sky. It was clear skies. Then they noticed another cloud taking shape in front of them that looked just like the cloud that they escaped. The closer they got to it, they started realizing that it looked like it was coming directly out of the earth. So they entered the cloud, as one would do. When you see something weird, you just go straight into it. And they witnessed something very peculiar. It became dark and black, but there was no rain. They could see about 4 miles ahead of them, and there were like weird lightning bolts, but it wasn't lightning. It was just extremely bright white flashes of light that would light up the surrounding area, the entire area around them. The farther they flew in, the more intense these flashes of light got. So they decided to turn left and try and make their way out. They flew for about 20 minutes and they finally saw like this U-shaped cloud that they could see a clear sky through. So they gunned it and tried to make it through. As they got closer, the top ends of this U joined together and they made like a hole. This hole appeared to be a perfect tunnel with spiraling clouds inside. They were inside this tunnel and it started like closing in on them, but they finally made it out. And to their surprise, they were already at their destination. They seemed to have traveled 100 miles of space and 30 minutes of traveling time in just over 3 minutes. That's time travel, folks. But then there's others that believe that everything is explained by water tornadoes. Is that what they're called? Water spouts, which is basically a tornado that's just made up of like ocean water. It sucks the water out of the ocean and spirals it around up to like 500 feet above the ocean level, sometimes even thousands of feet. And then others believe that it simply comes down to aliens. Aliens find this highly traveled, remote area in the ocean attractive because no one can see them. They can just take all these people from a ship. It's like a jackpot for them, you know? Can't even see my eyebrows with these bangs, but... So yeah, there you have it, guys. Bermuda Triangle. Thank you so much for joining me and talking with me about Bermuda Triangle. I'll see you guys next time. I gotta come up with a name for this channel. If you have any ideas of like a cool name, comment down below what you think I should name this channel. That way, my outro, I can be like, join me next time on... Cool name. You know what I mean? All right, guys. Love y'all. Cool. Do I suck at life? What the heck did I eat? My mouth tastes like hairspray. I'm feeling myself today. Work it, girl. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna darken that mole. Should I put another one? I will. That was way too big. Now I just look stupid. I need help. I need professional help. Somebody send help.